Hey everybody, it's Mike Sherwood and welcome to my channel, Don't Waste Your Life, where we remind you to be present, to be happy, and to be thankful. If you're new to the channel, I ask you to subscribe below. For your return, thanks for coming back. In this video, I plan to go through top 6 tips to reframe your life. So, as many of you know, recently we had a new baby, Caleb, join us. And with that, I took a month-long hiatus, actually ended up being 2 months hiatus from doing any content creation of any sorts. I just haven't had the time. And then now, actually, since I've done my last recording, also my in-laws are visiting from China. So there's just a lot of stuff going on, and there's very little time to do this. Continue to do what I've been doing. And one of my friends, something that my friend Jeff would always say to me is that you do the next best thing or the next right thing. And so in this case, I'm just going to continue to record content whenever I can. And this is the first entry kind of coming back to doing all this stuff. So I'm excited for it. And again, this video will be about my top six tips to reframe your life. So the idea is like, after you've had a big life change, what do you do about that? How do you approach getting right into it? Number one is being okay with your plan failing. As Mike Tyson would say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that's exactly what happened with Amanda and I. We planned everything out so perfectly. And I can actually think of a couple events that this happened. One was Evan got sick about 4 times from school in like a month and a half. Did not expect that. Baby Caleb came early. We did not expect that. Baby Caleb has not been feeding according to the schedule we'd like him to do. So honestly, you could plan whatever you want to do and it could be completely different. So you just need to keep that in mind that things go sideways and you just need to adapt and be able to pivot and move forward. Number 2 is that you need to say no a lot more. And this one is in particular very challenging for me because I love to help people. And I think I've told many of you that before, is I like to reach out and help others even when I actually need a lot of help myself. In this particular case, I actually have a good example is the HOA. I was part of the board until recently, and I just recently stepped down because I just don't have the time to do it. What I did is I looked to see like what the most important things were in my life, which is my family and, trying to take care of my health and some other stuff. Beyond that, I just don't have the time to do something like the HOA. And it's unfortunate because it's something I'm passionate about. And given that my background in real estate, I feel like I'd be really good at it. And I did it for a couple months and I thought it was going to turn into a 2-year gig and, we'll go from there. But unfortunately, no. So I'm planning to revisit that maybe when the kids are a little bit older. But saying no is not a bad thing. And the way you got to think about this is everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something that really matters to you. So keep that in mind. Number 3 is being okay with your standards dropping a little bit. And this can be a little controversial. People are like, well, you should be focusing on the outcome, get everything done 100%. But I really always say that everything's about the journey and how the journey to get to where you're going. And what will actually happen is sometimes you don't need to have everything done exactly to the T. For example, do you need a 100% clean house? As you all know, it's impossible to keep up and keep a clean house all the time. You just can't do it. And if you try to do that, is that really a constructive use of your time? For me, an example of this is I could be sleeping, catching up on sleep, considering, babies don't sleep. That's something else I could do. And so I think it's important to understand, where you could go with this and how you can pivot from there. Number 4 was really a game changer for me, which is that you need to reduce the distractions or understand the way that you work. So for me, for example, I have a major case of ADHD, adult ADHD. And there's so many times I'll be working on something and I'll be like, how the heck did I get here? And knowing about that is very important. So you have to be very focused on managing your time effectively. So I use 3 techniques that really help me a lot in managing this. So the first one is when I'm at home and working, I close my door. When I'm in the office, what I usually do is I set up my do not disturb, I turn off my email, and I silence my cell phone. And I will also put my desk in the elevated standing mode. And, I'll just put my headphones on, which leads me to the number 2 is that Headphones will prevent people from just walking up to me and talking to me. I can just, say, hey, I'm doing this, and just I'm trying to stay focused. That's what I usually do. And I will also try to focus on finding good music to listen to, especially stuff on like YouTube or YouTube music where I don't have to switch. I don't have to switch to something else. It's something I continuously play. It's not where I need to go and update the song. It'll just kind of progress. So music is very important to helping me focus. That's something I've used for years. The last part is to use something with time tracking techniques. So I actually have a timer on my desk that I use. And what I do is I set it to 25 minutes, which is part of the Pomodoro technique. And there's Pomodoro timers out there if you'd like to buy one. What I do is I set for 25 minutes and I just try to stay focused on one task during that time. And then after that, I take a 5-minute break and I continue to do that. And I find that it allows me to stay very focused on the tasks I'm trying to do, because often you get pulled away by instant messenger or whatever else may be coming around. Or, I mean, if you're working from home, kids walking in, again, that's why having the door closed is very helpful. So using Pomodoro technique has really helped me. So I recommend you Googling it and checking it out. Number 5 is to be in tune with your energy level and your body. And everybody's a little bit different here. So for me, I'm an early riser. So I like to do my best work in the morning when there's nobody around. Nobody can bother me. Nobody can stop me. That's why a lot of people like to wake up early, is because they don't have family or other people to interrupt them. There are people out there that are night owls, and I feel for you because you have a different problem to deal with, because you have everything going on throughout the day, and then you need to conserve enough energy to get your mojo and get done what you need to be able to get done and stay focused. And I think that's very tough. So I give people that are night owls a lot of credit. So I think what you need to do is you need to figure out how to effectively manage that throughout the day in order to be the most productive. And everybody's a little bit different. Some people like to stack up the little wins in the beginning and get things rolling. Other people like to do their most difficult tasks at the beginning of the day when they have the most energy and the most ability to think through complicated problems. Everybody's a little bit different there. The final one is to make sure that you have an outlet. Everybody's a little bit different on what this can be. And honestly, this is something that becomes even more important as your time constraints are even more than before. You need to be able to show up at your best. And the only way to do that is if you block out time for yourself in order to maximize how you show up. And everybody's different. So for me, that's journaling, that's walking, badminton. There's other things that I like to do, play video games. I think what I would say is you need to focus on a couple things, and that's it. Because honestly, as you get busier, as you have more kids, or you go through a life change, you may not have the ability to have multiple outlets. So you may have to cut that down quite a bit. Again, these were the top 6 tips I have given the current situation I am in, where things are just nuts, and how to reframe things and just to kind of keep things moving forward in a positive direction. And I'm hoping to do additional content in the future. So I would say be on the lookout for that. I would say I may do it less frequently, just depending upon when I have time. But I would say also, if you have a topic, I'd love to hear from you. I'll be able to share different stories and perspectives on stuff. So take care, guys.